Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Farming Simulator 22. And in today's video, we're ready to take our next step. In fact, it is going to be a huge step because it is going to define the near-term future of our farm, and it's going to take a lot of money. So much money that we're in all likelihood going to have to go into debt in order to make all this happen. Now we'll see if that ultimately is where we have to go, but this is a huge step for us. Now, I will tell you that I have had to change my plans somewhat because the game has been crashing on me when doing certain things, and we'll talk about that more as we get into today's video. But we're here at the beginning of March, and we are ready for our sheep farm. Now, our sheep farm is going to produce wool for us, and that wool will ultimately become clothing that we can sell to the local grocery mart. But before we get there, obviously we've got a lot to do. So we are currently in the northeastern portion of the map. So if I scroll back out, just to show you guys where we are indeed in the very corner of the map. Now this is not where I had originally intended for our sheep farm to be, but this is, for all intents and purposes, a ready-made sheep farm. In fact, as we get a little bit closer, you'll see the sign shows sheep on the entrance. However, there is one issue that we have, or at least may have, and we'll cross that bridge a little bit later on. But you can see that the fields around here already have grass on them, and that is a huge advantage because sowing grass can be quite costly. Fortunately, you only have to do it one time, but it indeed can be very costly. All right, so all three of these fields right in front of the farmhouse are planted with grass, as well as one we have here to the side, or excuse me, two we have here to the side. Now, if we come in to actually make this purchase, field 13 and 14 are separated off with field 12, and then we get the rest of this on our initial purchase. So let's go ahead and bring this up. And if we click right here, you can see we get quite a bit of area here. And my plans are to use this area on the side for the actual sheep enclosures, as long as this one does not work out. So let's actually head over to this one first, and we'll make our purchase from there, and then we will attempt at least to get started and hope we don't get any more crashes. So we're on a different portion of the map than when my crashes occurred, but if you look right here, you can see it sort of comes right out and forms a bit of a circle, and this is a ready-made area to drive right in for your sheep, unload their food, which is grass or hay, and then come right out the other side and just make a big loop. It is a very nice area to do it. Unfortunately, none of this works right now. The doors can't be opened. I'm not sure if that's intended or not. But for right now, we're just going to pretend this doesn't exist because essentially all these buildings are just there for the graphics. They're there for the visual because we can't do anything with them as it now stands. Now right here you can see this is a nice little area which hopefully we'll be able to use in the future. But again, right in here, I'm going to attempt to clean out all of these trees, and we're going to put our sheep enclosures in there, and it should look very nice once we're up and running. But again, there's a lot of ifs at this point in the plan. So let's go ahead and bring up the map. Let's go to farmland, and I am going to purchase this. So 260,000 gets us all of the buildings, the three fields, and all of this room both behind and beside. So we'll take that. Yes, please. We will buy that. So that's going to get us quite a bit of land. And of course, our three fields already sown with grass. And then right next to it for 170,000, we've got an additional three fields plus some additional room that we can purchase. So I like this area for sheep. It is clearly a great area for sheep, assuming, of course, everything works out as planned. So if we come back over here, we've got River Rock Estate, and there you can see our sheep right there on the sign. So I definitely like this as a great area, but I've got a little work to do here on the side to see if this is going to indeed work out for our sheep. Welcome back. We have been having a little bit of fun here, trying to remove some trees and clear the area. We've got some, visual anomalies, shall we say, going on right here. But my plan is I want to put the first enclosure somewhere right in here. And then we've got all of this land, I believe, headed all the way out to the road or very close to the road. And we'll use that for some of the production buildings and so forth. You can see we've got the deer back here. So we're going to need to clear this out a little bit. So I'll grab and I'll drag some of this stuff a little bit later. But right now, let's actually head into our Raptor 300, which I have leased. Yeah, this thing is a beast. Unfortunately, it does have some limitations. And those limitations include the fact that, can I not get to that one? I'm going to have to, no, it's too heavy. All right, so we'll have to move that one in a minute. So right now, let's start getting rid of some stumps. So let's move right over here. Let's turn this bad boy on. And you can see it does quite a bit of damage to the ground, damage as far as the landscaping portion of it. But that is not something I am worried about. It makes it just feel more like a farm at this point, quite frankly. All right, so let's lower this thing back down. Get rid of this stump. Can we get it? Yeah, there we go. I believe that got it all. Let's make another pass just to make sure. Yeah, we got it. All right, so again, I will get rid of some of this debris and limbs and so forth a little bit later on, off camera, but for right now, all right, nope, can't quite get it. All right, now let's try getting out there. Yeah, there we go. All right, took a couple of passes at that one. Okay, awesome. So that is done. I believe this entire area is more or less cleaned out as far as the big stuff is concerned. Of course, I'm going to have to do some more work with my chainsaw on some of this, but this is looking pretty good. So if we come back and get sort of an angle at this, we're going to have to avoid our poles here. But our first one will go somewhere right in this area. And then again, we'll have all this land to work with. And let's just see how it works out. And we are in business. So our very first sheep enclosure has been placed. It took me a little bit of time to get this one placed because there's just enough room to get it placed in here. In fact, as we walk around, this is the largest enclosure. We'll take a look at it in a little bit more detail in a moment, but you can see I just had enough room, and that is in fact the edge of the map. I can go no further. So I'm not sure how many of these we're going to be able to place because of that. May have to adjust my plan somewhat, but I could get no closer to the line here. I could get no closer to the back. So the good news is we got one in here. We'll just have to see how many more we can get. So you notice as we look around, there is a place for us to open up the animal dialogue. We'll purchase some of these here in a moment. We'll come back to that. Here's where we will drop off the food, and there's still plenty of room for us to get down through here for the food, and a little different than what we've seen in past farming sim games. So we're basically going to dump it here, and it's going to put it out into the feeding troughs there. Here is the water, which you can see is already full. We don't have to do anything with that. A little bit of storage. I'm assuming it's trying to give us some room for some of the wool that is going to spawn in here. Got plenty of room for wool storage here. We'll have to see how many pallets will fit in this area, but overall, I am very happy. We don't have to visit this area in the back at all because there is no reason, no water to put down. The food is up front, so I really like this setup. We'll just have to see long term how many of these we can fit in here as time goes on. So our next step is, of course, to get some sheep, and then we're going to need some equipment out here so that we can begin working these fields. Now, if we take a look at these fields, I am going to be combining these for sure. Not immediately, but we're definitely going to combine those because it's a perfect fit for that. So I'm liking where we are. This might not have been our original plan for the sheep, but overall, I think it's going to work out just fine. Now, let's come back to the sheep themselves. Now, we only have 38 grand left right now, so we're definitely going to need to borrow some money to make some purchases. However, if we come in here, there are different types of sheep. Now, I am by no means a sheep expert, so I'm not even going to attempt to tell you the differences between these. However, they appear to be only visual as far as I can tell. So, if we take a look at the two different types here, so these would appear to be identical, but one is a little less than half the price, and the difference there is the age. Okay, so we can see they reproduce every 5 months, but this one is 8 months old. This one is essentially a newborn. So I'm assuming it is going to have to wait a little while before it produces up to the same amount as the adults. Same thing here. We get newborns versus 8 months and so on. All right, and again, all of these seem to be the same. Now, I'm not sure what we have going on here other than these are 30-month. And they cost quite a bit more. But other than that, I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with just some of these more basic ones at the top. And I'm going to stay away from these expensive ones. They may have more as far as output, more wool. They may eat more. Who knows what might be the case here. But for right now, we're just going to stick with the more basic types. So we'll get some sheep in here, but before we can do that, we have to make sure that we can actually get some food for them, which means we are going to need to get some equipment. So we're going to need to mow the grass, and we're going to need a forage wagon behind in order to make all of this happen. So we've got several options as far as the forage wagon. So the way this will work is we will attach a mower to the front of the tractor, and then the forage wagon, because we don't have to convert this into hay, the forage wagon will simply tow along behind, pick all of that up, and we will be in great shape. So I'm looking here, we have, oh yeah, we're back to the weight. 6.2 tons, it looks like, 6 tons there, 8 tons. So I'm thinking one of these should probably work out just fine in the beginning. All right, so let's just back our way out and let's come back to the loan screen. So this is our finances, and right now we need it to be our loan screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to borrow the max amount, and then we'll just simply pay back whatever we don't need ultimately. But for right now, we can borrow up to $500,000. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Almost there. And you can see that's going to give us a total balance of $538,000. So now as we come back in, I'm actually going to get, do I need another tractor? That is the real question. For now, I'm going to hold off on the tractor. In fact, where are our mower attachments? Now, we could get a huge mower that would mow this thing in nothing flat. But for right now, we're going to just simply get the attachment. So we could go here and get 2.4 meters. That's perfectly fine. I like this one a lot. That's 7.3, but that would take our ability away. Let's see, I like the 3.1. And then you can also get this attachment for the rear. You can try to attach it to the front, which I'll be honest with you, I might do. I might try that at some point. But for right now, let's just go ahead and get this attachment. No options for this, so we'll just go ahead and buy this. All right, so we need 60 horsepower for this one. That is a complete non-issue as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and come back to the forage wagon. And I'm thinking right now, really any of these are going to be perfectly fine. But I'm thinking 46,000 is pretty good. I mean, there are certainly ways to hold more. What about any deals? Okay, we've got a nice deal here on a tractor, but nothing that I think we're really going to want to use. All right, so we've got 2.3, 6.2. Okay, wow. That is a huge difference. So I'm liking this option. Let's just go ahead and go with this one. We'll go ahead and we'll buy that. Okay, let's head back over to the shop. And perfect vehicle for us to spawn into because this is exactly where we want to be. Now, where is our mower? There it is. All right, so we're going to ease up on the mower and get it attached. There we go. And as I said, there are 2 additional side mowers that you can, or at least in previous farming sim games, you could attach to the front of the tractor and then tow behind here. And it can work out if you can get the swath to the center of the mower. Then you can work a huge area, similar to what you can do with the big, huge mower that we'll take a look at here in just a moment. That is my long-term plan, if we can get enough area that we need mowed. But for right now, this should be absolutely perfect because it'll mow 3 meters in width, and then we'll simply pick the grass up behind with the forage wagon, and we will be in business. So right now we have 482,000 remaining. Not that I think we're going to need all of that. However, again, we're going to have some things to deal with and probably some issues with placing down more sheep as time goes on. All right, I don't see anybody coming. We'll take our chance there. All right, so almost there. So this is where Courseplay really comes in handy. With Courseplay, I could fully automate this entire process of mowing the grass, dropping it off for the sheep, and just having it continue on until it's all mowed. Here, we're not going to have that option. We're going to have to do a lot on our own. But you can see, if we combine these, this is going to be perfect for us. But for right now, we will simply hang in there. And I'm going to go ahead and drop this guy off right about there for right now. We'll be back here for him in just a moment. Now keep in mind that these guys, as we take a look at them, once we get these sheep in, I'm going to go ahead and purchase the adults. Let's see, which ones do we want? Essentially, this is... Okay, we'll go ahead and purchase these. How many do we want is the real question. All right, we'll double click to get those activated. And remember that you do have husbandry in here, so every 5 months they will create more sheep. So let's see, do we want to do the fee? I am not worried about because I am not going through the trouble of having to load these guys up from the animal dealer. So if we start out with 30 right now, that's only 16 grand. So if we start out with 30, and then in 5 months' time, if things go well, we should have 60 in here. And then my plan is once we get there to add another enclosure and then see if we can't move some of those over, start adding to our sheep that way. So let's go ahead and buy these guys. Do we want to purchase those? Only 16 grand. Yes, we do. So now we should, and sure enough, there they are. All right, I like it. So now if we come back into, let's see, oops, there we go. So if we come into our animals, we have 30 animals. We could sell them if we wanted to. Obviously, that would not be a good financial move for us. But then you see their health and their reproduction. So we're going to be able to get these increased by supplying them food, which is what we will do here in just a moment. So productivity, wool, we'll have to see all of those as time goes on. And then we'll have some wool out here, hopefully tomorrow morning. But right now, I really want to find out what the AI will do with this, if anything. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on the loading wagon. We're going to lower the pickup. Yeah, there we go. Now we need to swap over to the mower. We need to turn it on. Oh, we need to unfold it first. My bad. So let's go ahead and lower that while I'm thinking about it. And then we will unfold it. Now we should be able to turn it on. All right, are we not on? Yeah, there we go. You can hear it tune up. And there is, let's see, do we want to hire a worker? Yes. All right, where is this guy going? Okay, no, we do not want to hire a worker because this guy is going, I don't even know what he's doing. Okay, never mind. So we will, let's turn on the mower. Make sure everything is ready to go. Also, I'm going to take a look. Turn on the loading wagon. Yeah, it did reset some of this stuff. Pickup is still lowered. Okay, I think we're all set. Nope, we have... There we go. All right, let's make sure everything is working according to plan. There you can see the pickup is grabbing the grass. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. And at the bottom of the screen, toward the bottom right, you can see that we're filling up. And then, of course, visually, you can also see that we are filling up as well. So I'm actually going to just sort of make my way around the corner here for this first little bit, because my goal here is just to get a little bit in the pen for these guys so that we can start their production going. But this is definitely going to be a much better idea long term if we do this with combined fields. Okay, not bad. Let's go ahead and turn this off for just a moment. Let's turn off the loading wagon. I'm going to lift the pickup. And let's go ahead and lift the mower as well. Get that lifted up off the ground. And let's work our way over to the enclosure. And let's see how this works. Let's see how picky this thing is. Oh yeah, we just barely can get underneath here. All right, there we go. Could we not overload? Did I miss it? There it is. Oh wow, I was expecting something a little bit better as a notification. Okay, there we go. Let's actually hop out for a moment. And we will hop up and over. And you can see, there we go. We have some grass now in here. Let's hop back in to see there. So we'll see the health and the productivity and all of that will start to increase over time. But you can see, for just 30 sheep, this is what I really wanted to show you guys. That's pretty far up on the fill meter for no more than we put in there. I mean, we didn't cut very much at all, but 31, almost 3,200 liters did, well, it did exactly what we needed it to do. So I'll continue cutting, and when we come back next time, we'll have a much better idea of the production of our sheep. But as for today, that is going to do it. So our sheep farm is officially underway. I've got a lot more work to do on the trees, removing those, trying to put down some more sheep enclosures. There's a lot to do, and of course there's always more grass to mow. But for today, I think we have a great start. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and stick around for more Farming Simulator 22.